Mysafiri sotëm është për herë të parë te unë, është një mysafir special. Emri i tij është Josef Martinsen. Për turpin tim nuk e kam pas shumë të qartë punën që ky e ka bë në 20 vite në Kosovë, në 22-3 vite. Jo vetëm shoqënia jonë. Tmerret edhe llahtaria që ka ndodhur gjatë luftës në vendin tonë është e pamatshme, është e panumërt, është e paqëmueshme. Qindrave, mira veta të vram, mira gradë dhunume, e monstruoziteti më i madh ka qenë që një numër i madh të tyre janë vrarë edhe janë hudhur në bunara, në pusa. Zoti Josef Martinsen nga Norvegjia ka ardhur vullnetarisht në vendin tonë, i ka shit shtëpinë e tij, o marr me gjeturit, me dëshdukurit, mi pru pe bunarë mi nxjerr jashtë, o marr me gratë të dhunume. Shoqëria jonë asnjëherë nuk e ka falendëruar sa duhet. Zotin Martinsen e kam të ftuar sot në intervistë. Para se marr këtu, diskutova me to në zyrën time, dhe ishte një bisedë jashtëzakonisht prekse. Ai është 83 vjeç sot, edhe ka dëshirë që mesazhi i tij mu përçu sa më larg, jo vetëm vendin tonë, por kudo në botë. I bë ditun edhe një herë krimet që janë kry kundër nesh në kohën tonë më të ligë në vitin 1998, vitin 1999. Mr. Martinsen, thank you for coming here, being my guest.
Thank you for inviting.
It's a pleasure. I would like, again, as I said to you in my office, to apologize for being so careless as a people, as a society, vis-a-vis what you did to unearth a lot of mysteries from wells, from everywhere. Thanks for being here. Can you tell me when was the first time that you heard about Kosovo and you decided to dedicate your life?
The first time I heard about Kosovo was in June 1999. I was retired from the Central Bank of Norway. I was assistant head of director there and worked there for the last 10 years.
In bank?
In the Central Bank of Norway.
Bank, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And then I was sort of pensioner, and I wanted to do something. Okay. I was only 58 years old at that time. So I sent a letter around to different organizations and said, I can help you with things if you want, especially abroad.
Okay.
And then Norwegian Church responded immediately.
Okay.
And they made an invitation to me coming to their office, and there they presented Kosovo, and a special case in Kosovo that was taking up dead bodies from wells.
So it was the church that invited you with this specific program, dead bodies in the wells.
Yeah, because
so they were aware that there are people...
Yeah, because UNHCR had asked Norwegian Church Aid to find people to do that job.
You didn't have expertise on this field whatsoever?
No. My expertise, I'm military.
Okay, you're military.
Yeah, 17 years in the military.
Okay.
I ended up as a major when I left.
Okay.
And
so you responded positively to the church?
Yeah. I didn't know that time it was dealing with dead bodies and wells.
Yeah.
When they told me that, I couldn't say, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So
you didn't want to be picky?
No, that's right.
I would like to help some specific areas.
If I said A, I can say B.
Yeah. So you said, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
And you arrived in Pristina like...
19th of July.
19th of July.
Yeah.
Like a month and few days after the war, after the first Serbs forces left Kosovo.
That's right.
What? You arrived in Pristina?
No, come via Macedonia.
Okay, through Honjelizit, Ferizaj.
From South, yeah.
And you were located where in the first days in Kosovo? How was Kosovo at that time, by the way?
It's terrible.
All burned down.
Yeah, and on the road also, you could see destruction.
Everybody, I mean, the world was shocked with the speed of Kosovars coming back. I mean, nobody expected something like that to happen.
No, that's right. But in a way, there were not so much people either. So yeah, it was a little bit strange.
Yeah, because like 50% or more were out of Kosovo.
They were. There were almost 900,000 were out of Kosovo at the end of the war. 900,000.
Yeah.
That's approximately half of the population.
Yeah, at least half of the population.
Yeah.
So, and you started your work immediately?
No, we were told to find a place where we could have a base for the operation.
Okay.
And then we started to travel around, and we hired translators. We needed translators.
Okay.
And we got translators, and then we moved around in the western part because
the Virginia area.
Yeah, because it looks like that was the area that was most affected by this.
Central and western part attacked.
That's right. So we ended up there in the Chani.
Okay.
Yeah, of all places, and we established a base there. And from there, we went out in all directions.
How many people were you?
We were, in the beginning, 8 from Norway. And then we hired...
All of you from Norway?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we hired in local people. So they were operating 3 or 4 groups to travel around and look for wells. Okay. They had to talk with the local mayors or municipality people.
Were people friendly at that time?
Yeah, they were good. They were good. But they were nervous.
Yeah.
They were nervous. Because they said to me that maybe the Serbs coming back.
Okay.
Because they remember things that happened in Bosnia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were not safe. Yeah. They didn't feel safe. Even if UN and NATO were there. Yeah. They were not safe in the beginning.
You start investigating wells.
Yeah. We got in reports from municipalities, and they said, here we have one well, here another one. So...
Yeah, you can take water. I know that you need some water for... Where was the first victim that you found? I mean, do you remember that?
In the Chani.
In the Chani?
Yeah.
Was young or old?
It was a well. We have a picture of it. And we were 5, 6 people standing around the well and looking down into the well. And we saw a body, and we saw a face with the eyes like that, 2 eyes like that. Can you imagine? Yeah. Staring at you. Oh. That was the first.
Was young or old?
I don't know that.
You don't know?
No.
But that was the first one, I mean.
That was the first one.
Did you regret saying why?
No, but it was terrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah, yeah. I was the leader of the group, so I avoided to see most of those.
So that specialized teams...
They came in and
took out.
Yeah.
And then after that, you start investigating everywhere in Kosovo.
Yeah. And then we had to find documentation. Who were those bodies in the wells? Yeah. We had to document also who they were, talking with the municipalities, the mayors, and find out data about the victims.
Dead people.
Yeah. And that we had to report into ITCY.
Yeah, ICTY, like Hague Tribunal for ex-Yugoslavia.
Yeah, that's right.
So how many people, all in all, how many people you found out in the...
127.
127?
Yeah. But there were triple the amount of animals and cats and dogs and you name it. But you could never say at the first glance that this is this is a human and this is a animal. Yeah. So you had to dig up everywhere, and then you found out if it was a
man, woman,
kid, whatever,
old man,
or animal.
So 129, right?
Yeah.
Do you
27.
know, or have you followed up? Was anybody convicted? Any responsible guy?
Oh no.
Nobody was sentenced.
No, you see, We tried to inform the UNMIC justice, but they said to us, we have the information.
We had the information.
Yeah, we have the information on every bomb. So don't bother too much.
UNMIC said that.
Yeah.
So you were communicating with them.
Oh, yeah.
They were authority in Kosovo.
They were running Kosovo. They were the government of Kosovo.
Yeah.
Yeah. This special representative for Kosovo, that the General Secretary of UN appointed every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
There was a new special.
Like it was Michael Steiner for some time, German guy.
Yeah.
It was.
They were called governors.
Yeah.
Popular name.
So instead of assisting you, helping you,
Yeah.
they were discouraging you to do the job.
More or less. More or less.
And during how long was this period? Like for how long you investigated wells?
We went on for 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
Like July, March 2000.
From July to March 2000, yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
And
then my job was finished, and then I went to Spain because I was a pensioner.
yeah.
I want to have a nice time in Spain, warm place and sun.
After this, what you saw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I met a German in Spain. I told him about this, and he said to me, "You have to go back."
That German?
Yeah, and write the book about your experience. Otherwise, that information will get lost.
In vain.
Yeah.
Before coming here, we talked in my office regarding a very painful case in Kotlica. Kotlin.
Yeah.
It's a village between Hanjelezit and Kaçanik there.
Yeah, that's right.
What happened there?
We were called to check 2 wells. They were placed in a steep hillside. 2 wells. So we went down there and we started to climb up to the 2 wells. And it's very strange. Suddenly we got the feeling that something had happened up there. It's strange, but that was a feeling I had.
Okay.
So when we came up there, you couldn't see the wells because they were damaged with the explosive. They had put people into the wells and then put explosive over and ruined the wells totally.
Just to
cover up
the crime.
Make it difficult to find the bodies.
And you were stopped burning and you wanted to get in.
Yeah, but they asked, how should he manage to come down into the wells?
Were they deep?
I think it was 30 meters.
30 meters? Or 13?
30.
30. Yeah.
So you couldn't go in from the top. That was impossible.
Because of the explosion?
Yeah, no, because it was so steep.
Yeah.
If you had a helicopter, you could do it from the top.
Yeah.
But we had only... Yeah. So we measured approximately 30 meters down the hillside, and then we started to dig in.
Horizontally?
Into the wells.
Wow.
And there we discovered...
Was water in the well?
No.
No? Empty well with bodies there?
Yeah.
How many bodies was there?
22.
22? In 2 wells?
Yeah, in 2 wells.
Like, could you like tell, or were they young, old, women, kids?
When we took them out, it was, I think, September in 99.
Okay, then 3 or 4 more months after.
Yeah. The body was almost that they had been put in there the day before.
Really?
It was very strange.
Like
they had not
very well conserved.
Yeah, that's right. But there was no air down there after the explosion.
So,
So they was easy to identify and have them transported away.
So were they young, old, women, kids?
Not women, but there were men, young men and children. Let's say children.
Like teenagers?
Yeah, teenagers.
Were they from the same village?
Yeah, it was a village, I think, there was 1,000 people there. That's a total.
Yeah.
Of those 1,000 or less than 1,000, 22 were taken and put into the well.
Yeah. Could they identify them? Sure.
At once.
Yeah.
At once. There was
no one, to your best knowledge, no one is convicted about even that crime.
No. Because those who did this massacre, they were masked.
Masked.
Yeah. Someone said they maybe remembered the voice, had heard the voice before, or whatever, but they couldn't see them because of the mask.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you are military, and you know that Yugoslavia had a hierarchy. Like, it was very well organized country.
It was.
It was not a kind of a banana republic that you cannot take, like, the structure.
In addition, Milosevic had declared state of war in Yugoslavia. Yeah. So the military had the total responsibility. Yeah. And there you could find who was responsible for each area.
You can, again, water as much as you want. I mean, we have enough time. Studio is ours, and we can take our time. So all this proves that you had. Did you ever communicate with ICTY?
You see, that is the problem. My task was only to find bodies in wells, identify them,
and walk away.
Yeah, that's it. We wrote a report of the whole 8 months. Yeah. With all the things we saw and registered and found. But after that, they said to me, "You can leave. We take over."
Said who?
NCA.
Okay. Yeah. The Norwegian organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they only sent a report to UNHCR, but they were running this kind of operation.
Yeah.
What they did, I don't know.
By the way, did it happen to find Serbs in the wells that did?
One.
When that happened?
It was down. It was a well that was 200 meters deep.
200 meters
deep?
Yeah,
it was a cave, more or less.
Yeah.
There they found a man in a red suit, I remember it was, and they found the documentation, and they believed to be a Serb, but you couldn't identify the papers properly because they were wet.
Okay.
So we sent the documentation in to ITCY, but after some time, the documentation disappeared.
Did you testify in ICTY? Did they ever?
No. They don't ask for things. They tell you what to do, and when you have done it, that's it.
Yeah.
They don't want to have your opinion or anything.
Really?
Just to do the job and then leave.
So after finishing your report, you went to Spain, you met a German guy who said you have to write a book, otherwise this will go in vain.
Yeah.
And
I was hesitant to do that because I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
I have problems with writing.
Yeah.
So, but he insisted. He was 80 years old, this man, German.
You were a kid for him. Like.
So I said, okay, since you insist, I go back. So the next year I went back.
You went back to Kosovo?
And I contacted my translator and said, Margita, and said, we have a job to do. We have to do it.
Now you are just in your own, no organization behind you.
Nothing.
Yeah, just your soul.
Yeah, nothing.
Identifying.
Yes. I asked UNMIK. I told them I was planning to do a book, but you don't need to do it. We have all the information. It's a waste of money for you. Go back to Spain and relax. Yeah. That is the answer you got.
And so you started by yourself?
Yeah.
And I hear that you sold your house?
Yeah, not for the first book, but for the second book.
What was the name of your first book?
The Wells of Death.
Wells of Death?
Yeah. And it took me 4 years to finish that project. And then a man in Pristina, very nice man. I met a man called Salih Macedonci.
Okay.
He happened to be, at time went by, a good friend. Because he was educated in England in English.
Yeah.
So he was fluent in English.
Okay.
So he helped me quite a lot also.
Okay.
Yeah. And he, after the first book, he came to me and said, good book, but you have to write another one because there is no information in Kosovo about what happened during those 18 months.
Yeah.
The killing.
Yeah.
No one knew anything.
Yeah.
So, and also my translator, Margita, and her husband, Ridwan, they also said, just do another book. And then I started on the second book. But that was a huge project. Can you imagine? Gathering information about 400 mass graves containing 10,600 bodies.
So the second book is about massacres and about massive graves.
Yeah.
And you investigate it, so you start...
Yeah, I started doing it. And there I needed money. And I asked for money. There was no money to find. UN, for example. And the Norwegian foreign
Ministry. Affairs.
Foreign Affairs. So I said the only way I could raise money was to sell my summer house in Sweden. I had a summer in Sweden.
Yeah.
I inherited from my sister of my father. And with that kind of money, I went down and started to look into those 400 mass graves. Because I needed car, I needed translator, I needed, you name it.
Full job.
Yeah, full job.
Yeah.
So, and then I was lucky. I found the right people all the way. There were 3 families in Kosovo that helped me. It was Pakastica family.
Pakastica, yeah.
Yeah, Margita and her husband. It was Morina family in Jakova. And Berisha family in Kosovo.
Kosovo.
She was one of the raped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she and her daughters, they helped me.
Okay.
Since 2010.
So first book was written like in 2001, 2002?
2001 to 2005.
It took 4 years to write.
Yeah, because I have never written any book.
Sure.
I didn't know how to start up. And so I asked people and someone helped me. And
so you finished your first book in 2004-05?
Yeah.
And then immediately you started working on your second project?
No. And then we had the presentation here at the National Library.
Yeah.
And then after that presentation, people come and told me,
okay,
there is a lot of information we don't know. Can't you start to write another book?
Okay.
Yeah. And it ended up with that. I started to do this second book, but I needed money, and the money I found by selling my house in Sweden.
Okay.
And then from there, it went smoothly, and with help of those 3 families, we managed to do the job.
So then you started working in your second book, and it was
2006.
2006 until
ended 2010.
2010, but in 2010 Kosovo was independent by that time.
Yeah.
Did our institutions ever help you, finance you?
No, they didn't. You see, when you write the book about things that happened, especially connected to war, you should write about things that is connected.
Yeah.
The full story.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
But they didn't like it. UNMIK didn't like it. The local government didn't like it because it was critics about how UNMIK and the governors had been running Kosovo all the time since 99.
How they did run Kosovo? I mean, now...
Terrible.
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 We were afraid they didn't beat us.
No.
But, I mean, we were afraid to confront them because all the time they would consider us like backward people, people that don't want to progress. You're talking about the war.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they got us silenced because we considered it, let's pass it without justice.
You're right. And it was terrible for me. I wasn't used to that kind of attitude to things like that. I thought they were interested in finding what had happened and the total picture of these 18 months where these killings were taking place.
So you finished your second book about mass graves. So in your books, in your memory and everything that you know, like what is the number of the victims in Kosovo? All in all, do you have like...
I have it detailed, who it is, where they were found, and where they were buried in mass graves.
So you have...
Totally, all names.
How many people are killed in Kosovo?
10,600.
10,600?
Yeah, I registered.
Albanians or altogether?
Albanians.
Albanians.
As I was dealing with war crimes, not ordinary war, collateral damage or something like that.
Why we cannot say this? How come it's so painful, it's so bad now, it sounds very bad, we are not allowed even to say, listen, Serbs were killed after the war, but who caused it? I mean,
that's right.
If someone revenged, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Always.
It's always terrible. But who started first? Like in Kosovo, for the war in Kosovo and for everything that happened, there are 37 Albanians convicted, and there are 24 Serbs. Isn't this...
It didn't match. It doesn't match with what really happened, took place.
What would Norwegians do if they were us?
They would act properly, going into the case, doing research, properly research, and also find perpetrators and set up how to run the courts to judge them, to convict them, find evidence, all that kind of things should have been done. But
did you talk with Norwegians, like government officials?
No, they won't. They were following the UN line. And the UN line was, don't talk about this.
Peace, no matter.
Yeah, because they told me, these people have to be friends later on, and you can't provoke them with what they did.
So
can imagine.
If I am understanding well, they said to you, they let you understand, let's close the chapter. Don't talk about crimes. So this was official line.
Yeah, that was official line. Because they have to be friends again, they said. And you can't stop telling them all the bad things they did.
Yeah, but French and German, they become friends after justice.
They understood the importance of having the total picture of what happened. And the Germans understood that. And they said, we did it. And we will pay for it.
They admitted.
Yeah.
Now we have President of Serbia. We have President of Serbia. We have a guy that was Minister of Propaganda of Milosevic.
I know. He was part of the game.
He was part of the game.
And he is in charge in Serbia now.
No, we set up a tribunal, as you might know now, in which our heads of KLA there, like accused for crimes and stuff. I don't say that we shouldn't investigate, but is this, I mean, where is the balance?
No, there is no balance.
Where is the balance?
There is no balance at all. There is no. So the problem with this case is that the current generation, they are not capable of solving this problem. You need a new generation coming in with a new mindset on things. because I had a lecture today in Mitrovica, and I said, Kosovars and Serbians, when I came down here, and what I experienced was that they were following the habitual way of thinking and acting. And that was not peace or peace or stability or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it was more or less, what can I manage to take back?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was struggle for power and land and resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
So people who are thinking like that, they are not probably able to understand if you want to go out of that
pattern of mindset.
Mindset.
Yeah.
You need maybe new people, younger people.
We thought that 2 years ago we had elections. We choose to have new generation of politicians. I don't know what is your experience with them. Did you manage to contact our government or our people in the government to share the information that you have?
Yeah, it's strange.
Why?
They wanted to have a copy of the books. Yeah, I said, you can buy it.
Yeah.
You can buy them because it cost me quite a lot of money to do the total project that lasted for 10 years.
Yeah.
And they asked for free copies. I said,
This government asked you for free copies.
Yeah.
Like, why? Where is your like?
It was the minister, not the recent minister, but one of the man from the western part of.
Hey, or the channel or something like that. Yeah.
He was. It's terrible when your brain is blocked sometimes. He was one of the commanders you had.
Oh, Haradinaj maybe.
Haradinaj.
Yeah.
He was. They wanted the books, but they didn't want to pay.
Did you contact, because now we have a prime minister that it's son-in-law.
Yeah, I tried to in a way, because there were people around the prime minister that I knew.
Okay.
And then was planning to ask for help. But for some reason, they avoided.
People around prime minister.
Avoided to take up the issue that I wanted to take up.
Okay.
Yeah, the story about the books. So I heard that the prime minister was married with a Norwegian lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought maybe she could be a contact I could go through and maybe find ways into the government, meeting people that could decide things. I wrote her an email and asked for help, but unfortunately, she was too busy to help.
Even for a meeting?
Even for a meeting.
She said what? Like, I'm busy?
She said that I'm working on my own here and have a lot to do, and I cannot help you.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was amazed because it was the wife to the prime minister.
Yeah,
I had hoped, well, I could mention it for my husband, here, prime minister.
Could your wife of prime minister of Norway living in another country say, I have my own things?
Well, it's hard for me to judge her.
Not wife, in a sense, woman. Even the husband.
Yeah, but I react only on things that I have been presented and lived myself.
Yeah.
If I start to elaborate on things that is I'm not experienced myself, I don't feel I'm doing the right thing. So I'm concentrating on the documentation I did, trying to spread that information the most, and also help those 423 raped women that made the deal. They made the deal.
423 women, raped women, made a deal with UNMIC, you said to me.
Yeah, and the then government. There were politicians.
Government.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, then they were in Spare, government in Spare.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they forgot.
What was the agreement between?
The agreement was, if you sign a document that tells the story how you were raped and so on, and sign it, we can use that in courtroom.
So 423 women signed a document with UNMIC, admitting to tell the stories, how they were raped.
Yeah.
Did they told the stories?
They told the story. It was written down, the total story.
Who has the document?
UNMIC.
They have the documents of the stories.
Yeah.
You know this for a fact.
Yeah.
So 400 women confessed the most miserable
It's terrible.
hour in their life.
Yes.
And those documents are locked in UNMIC?
Yeah.
Never introduced to the court?
That I don't know. But they had the documents.
We never heard.
Now, people used to say that to me when I mentioned this case. I never heard about it.
Never heard about it. Because we just know that women were raped. We just know. I mean, there are a couple of brave women that came out, even though with blur faces, admitting. But we didn't see a document like confessing it.
No. There are 3 books written by Albanian female here in Kosovo. I don't have the names here, but if I can pick up my bag, you can have them. My bag is over there. So if you take my bag, and I will give you the paper, and there, because I presented this case up in Mitrovica today for law students. And I told them about this case that the UNMIC didn't follow up with. So, 3 books were written since 2003 by local female writers. I wonder how many politicians have read these books. And there you have the name of the books. They started in 2003. And the last...
Merret, Sanie Gashi, Rëfimet të rënditse, Luljeta Selimi, Pa Apology, Fitnete Ramusaj, printed by Dugajini. These 3 books written by female writers regarding...
They had interviewed all those thousands of raped women.
So, you were aware that UNMIC is getting these confession?
Yeah, that's for fact.
And then, what did they promise to the woman?
They said, if you sign the document that we can use in court, we will look after you. We will give you compensation. We will see to it that your local authorities or people doesn't bother you too much, make you harm.
And this happened when? 2000 what year?
1999.
1999. This happened 1999.
Yeah.
And then, no follow-up.
No follow-up.
Have you ever met raped women in Kosovo? You personally?
Yeah.
Many of them? Like?
No, I have close contact to 2 of them. And one of them had 4 children. Yeah. And they have suffered. Because of they didn't get the help they were promised back in 1999. So how they survived, I met them in 2010 when I presented my last book. And they were in a miserable condition, I can tell you.
I'll make a break here for some advertisement. I'll come back. Jena një intervist, për mua absolutisht njëna për intervistave ma të rëndësishme të editorit Zbulojës, prej që kemi fillu këtë emision, është zoti Josef Martinsen, I cili ka publiku 2 libra, ka bërë një film për krimet edhe llahtarin e 18 muajve të luftës në vendin tonë. Mos harrojmë falendëru sponsorët e këtij emisioni, është kafe Pavin, është pija Frutex Natural, që gjatë gjithë kësaj kohe kanë mbështet emisionin tem, I cili transmetohet profesionisht në kanalin tonë YouTube. Kthehemi mas pak. Jemi këthy në studio me zotin Josef Martinsen dhe rrëfimin e tij për gjithë ju që jeni të interesuar. Është ky website këtu është www.truthvizcommission.com. Këtu mundi mi gjetë punimet të zotit Josef Martinsen edhe punën e tij që e ka bërë për më shumë se 10-15 vite në teren, duke I gjetë, duke I nxjerrë nga toka, edhe në kuptimin e plot fjalës, edhe në kuptimin e parë, edhe në kuptimin e dytë fjalës, edhe viktimat edhe të vërtetën. E asaj që ka ndodhur në vendin tonë gjatë vitit 1998-99. Edhe njëherë I falenderoj sponsorët, gjithashtu kompaninë Albanika, e cila merret me ndërtime, është kompania që mban vulin e Bexhet Pacullit, është një kompleks I jashtëzakonshëm ndërtimor që bëhet në periferitë të Prishtinës, te lagja e spitalit afër Pallatit Drejtësisë. Mr. Martinsen, so what are your expectations? What do you expect? What should we do? Like how to handle this issue?
It's a difficult question because before I started with the second book, I didn't know exactly if I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because UNMIC said, you don't need. Save the money, go to Spain. So I went to the Institute of History.
In Kosovo.
In Kosovo. Dr. Josef Bayraktari.
Yeah.
And Archive Kosoves.
Yeah.
And Yusuf Osmani.
Yeah.
And I asked them, what do you think I should do? This was in November 2006.
Okay.
Yeah. To my surprise, they said, start immediately. Start immediately, because we are losing evidence, because people are moving out of Kosovo. People die. So we are losing a lot of information.
Resources.
Oh, I think that was total opposite of what UNMIC said.
Yeah.
So
did our institutions at all help you financially?
No. And then I said, very good, I will start, but you have to write me a recommendation.
Yeah.
Because if I'm coming around in Kosovo and ask for information, and they will ask, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you representing?
Yeah.
So I need something to prove that I'm a legal person.
Yeah.
Doing
I'm not alien here.
Yeah. Doing a job in Kosovo. And they wrote a recommendation.
Okay.
I have it written.
Okay.
I often take it up. And due to that documentation, I had access to all NGOs.
Okay.
They didn't refuse to help me.
Okay.
All the information they had, they gave me concerning dead bodies.
So this is for your second book?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's for my second book. So
you traveled to Serbia?
I traveled in 2013 when the book project and film and everything was finished.
Okay.
I traveled in 2013 to Belgrade, and I stayed there to 2018. And
you stayed there for 5 years?
5 years, presenting what took place here in Kosovo, 1998, 99, because the government in Serbia, they wouldn't tell anything about this.
So you went there
Yeah.
to present our case there?
Yeah. I
Wow.
put up a webpage and all the information I'd had and put it on this webpage possibilities you have it today. And I organized a public meeting but not many came, but I did it.
Were you threatened?
No, not threatened, but I didn't like what I was doing.
So you communicated with Serbs there, trying to convince them.
Yeah.
Could you convert any?
No.
Not a single soul?
Not a single soul.
Wow.
But I met people that told me, you're right, but we can't communicate it publicly.
Did you try to reach the government to talk to them?
No.
No. Just civil society?
Yeah, because they sent in some crazy people making problems when we are doing the recording in the studio to have us to stop.
So you did recording there?
Yeah, 3 times. In the first one in 2015, the next one in 2016, and the third one in 2017.
In media?
In media.
Okay.
And spread it on webpage.
Okay.
Yeah. And
how was the reaction?
None.
None?
No. There came some people from the university I saw.
Okay.
Because it was open, public.
Okay. Okay.
So people could come, but not many came.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you gave up from Serbia, you said?
Yeah, then the reason why I left then Serbia was I started to have problems with my shoulder, both shoulder. So I had to go home and do operations. And that is the reason why I left Serbia. I would probably, maybe I stayed 1 or 2 years more and tried to find young people.
Okay.
I was looking for young people also to communicate with.
Okay.
But even the young people were difficult to talk with.
Absolutely. We are now in a process with Serbia, dialogue and stuff, but we couldn't, unlock their attitude toward Kosovo.
That's right.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
It's also like international community, trying to appease them because they have a plan B, like Russia, and all the time it was like very strange relation.
So I had hoped that you could find people in Kosovo traveling to Serbia, Belgrade, and start to build up connections somehow. Yeah. NGOs could do that easily because I did it. I'm still alive. Yeah. So it's possible. Yeah. That is the only way, because if the information that the government are giving, if that start to continue, there's no way. Yeah. That you need new young people in that can ask questions to the government or to the official people. Ask questions based on documentation they have, but they don't do it.
What are you going to do with your material now?
There is a lady called Liridona Berisha. Yeah. She have followed me since 2010. And since 2012, she actively helped me on web pages and trying to present the project in order to get money to translate my product into Serbian. Yeah. So I could have 3 languages. It was Norwegian, English, Albanian, and Serbian. Okay. So on that webpage, you can have it in 3 languages.
Do you have expectation toward our government? Can they do something that would satisfy you, morally?
No, not for the moment, because they don't react. I sent letters to the government in 2016, 2017, 2018. There were no answer. They don't answer. It's like they doesn't have the information. Yeah. They don't answer. I sent letter to the Prime Minister publicly. They don't answer. So my expectation when it comes to the government is very low. Yeah. I don't think I have any.
Do you think that we act as a society, like when we show this kind of behaviors?
No, for me it's strange. Let's say it that way. It's strange. Yeah.
Mr. Martinson, thank you very much. I was honored to have you here. I would like again to thank you for your service for our nation and for victims that have no voice. And we would really appreciate maybe later more than now. I was honored to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shikues nderuar, me ne ke Josef Martinson, I cili është autor librash, filmi për krimet që kanë ndodhur në vendin tonë gjatë vitit 1998-1999. Gjithë ata që janë të interesuar, kjo është adresa, është www.truthvizcommission.com. Ju gjeneratat e reja që keni interes për paraardhësit e juaj, për ata që kanë ndodhur, mundi mi gjetë këtu gjitha, prej një burimit pavarur, ish ushtarak norvegjez, pastaj që ka ndarnia 15 vjet jetës tij për kauzën e popullit shqiptar që është kauza viktimës, shimina jo e nashme.